Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, interestingly enough, thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the grand poobah. That's right, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of the Gaming Gang. So if this is your first time stopping by to visit, kick back, relax, put your feet up. We are certainly not performing rocket surgery here by any stretch of the imagination. We're just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. So that means we're talking about board games and card games, role-playing games, miniatures games. If it's going on your tabletop, we are probably talking about it. Every once in a while, we'll talk about some PC gaming, such as tonight. And of course, pop culture pops its head up from time to time as well. Of course, if you are a longtime viewer, thank you very much for joining me once again. Always welcome. Always warms the cockles of my heart to have folks hanging out, watching live. Thank you very much. Tonight is Thursday, February 4th, 2021. This is live stream 616. Do want to mention, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, especially since we've got some contests going on. And of course, if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Crystal Palace, which is from Capstone Games. So stay tuned for that. That will be up shortly. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that means chat is available. So if you want to say howdy, maybe you got a question or a comment, by all means, chime in. It is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So even though sometimes it'll zip by pretty quickly. So far, the Madman was the first out the gate tonight saying hello. A great A is with us, as well as Roman lives. So should I get my my diving helmet with my little antennas and get my gorilla suit on? Roman. All right, so welcome aboard, everybody. We're going to have some fun tonight. Got an eclectic mashup of news, I guess we will say. First thing, I do want to mention something before we jump into the news, and then I've got, you know me, I always got to pontificate about things. So I ran across a couple of things on Twitter today that I'm going to jump into. And I have to point out that I got an email today from somebody who watched yesterday's live stream, and they called me a racist. Okay. It's like, so if I'm talking about like something historical and you shoehorn racial or gender entities that were not part of that, who were being subjugated or excluded, but then your version includes them. How is that making me racist by saying, hey, you know what? If you whitewash history, that's a bad thing. You know, there's a reason why. What is it? They did a survey recently. What was it? 13% of high school students knew what the Holocaust was, or actually knew factually what the Holocaust was. 13%, which was not that far ahead of the 10% who felt that the Jewish people brought it upon themselves. That's what happens when you whitewash history. You get people who think, oh, yeah, the Jewish people, yeah, they deserved it. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I just thought it was like, wow, I'm racist. It's like, jeez. Whatever. It's like, okay, knock yourself out. Think of that. All right. So, Flaming Heron has popped into chat. Good to see Flaming Heron. We've got both of our chat moderators hanging out. We got Jason Herrick is popping in, and it is a first visit for Jason. Welcome aboard. Thanks for hanging out, joining us in chat. This is the first time they've had an opportunity to watch live. And by spewing racism. Jeez, I don't. Ah, boy, I tell you, some of these people out there, I don't know. Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about something after the news. Oh, boy. I don't know. It's just, is it me or just all of a sudden, maybe it's Trump's not in office anymore. So people have to figure something else to, get nutty about. I don't know. Just don't know. All right. So, Grade A is bringing up some news that'll be out on Monday. Grade A had shot me an email with some news. I'll get my news my own way. Thank you, Grade A. Just kidding. I already had all my stuff. I had everything already set up for because as I've already mentioned, I am doing my best to have my news done the night before. Remember, I had mentioned I had been kind of binge watching Star Trek Discovery, I should say, not Discovery Channel. Right. Why would I try to educate myself? Madness, I say. So that's what I tend to do, is I try to make sure I've got all the news. And if something like major breaks, then I'll add an extra news piece. Grady says, hey, I'm just trying to help out. Yeah. So, Romance says, we have Crazy Marge now. Oh, gosh. She'll be your crackpot distraction for the foreseeable future. Yeah. Rob German's in chat. Good to see you, Rob. We got a good chat kicking off already. We got a first-timer. Be nice. Be nice to Jason, everybody. He watches the show, hangs out at the channel, first time watching live. So let's not chase him away. And actually, it's kind of funny because Flaming Heron does mention a Grade A wasn't here. Wasn't it last night's show? I think it was last night's show. And I was like, wow, chat is really quiet tonight. There were people watching. There were people in chat. But I know a lot of times a Grade A kind of drives the chat. So, just like a bus. All right, so let's jump on into the news, because arriving later this month from Roxley Games is Dice Throne Season 1 Re-Rolled. Here's the scoop. A heart-pumping, fast-playing game of skilled card play and dice manipulation. The game is played over a series of rounds where you'll be rolling your hero's dice up to 3 times. You'll use the combination of dice symbols or numbers to activate your hero's abilities to attack your opponents or opponent. Dice Throne Season 1 Re-Rolled is a remastered edition of, you guessed it, Dice Throne Season 1 with 2 new characters, fully redesigned with folding boards, individual character storage trays, I should say, battle chest storage, and 2 new heroes, the Treant and Ninja. Dice Throne is a game of intriguing dice, tactical play, powerful heroes, and unique abilities. It's a fast-paced 2 to 6 player combat game. 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 2v2v2, or a free-for-all. Select from a variety of heroes that play and feel completely distinct from one another. Attack opponents and activate abilities by rolling your hero's unique set of 5 dice. Accumulate combat points and spend them on cards that have a large range of effects, such as granting permanent hero upgrades, applying status effects, and manipulating dice directly. Yours, your teammates, or even your opponents. All heroes are compatible with any other heroes from any other season of Dice Throne. Each hero has their own beautiful set of custom dice. You'll use upgrade cards to improve your hero abilities as the game progresses. Play action cards strategically to manipulate dice and surprise your foe. It's packed in a handmade, highly functional battle chest storage box. There are actually a few different sets that are available. I believe each one contains 2 heroes. And each of these releases, depending on how many, of course, you've got, you can play up to 6 players. It's 2 to 6 players. It's for ages 8 and up. Kind of strange it's 8 and up because it got dice that little kids swallow, but I don't know. I have no idea. Plays around 20 to 40 minutes. It's going to carry each of these sets an MSRP of $24.95. They are arriving on February 24th. Nice. I think that's pretty cool. It looks kind of interesting. I know absolutely nothing about this game other than what I just shared with you. If anybody has actually played this, by all means, let me know. I, of course, don't mean the re-rolled edition, but any of the Dice Throne games previously, I'd be kind of interested to find out how it plays, because it seems to me as if you've got a deck of cards with different abilities. Maybe you have to buy those with points off the dice or something like that. And then you also have these custom dice. So kind of cool. All right, so we've got Kabuki Kid joining us in chat. Good to see Double K in the house. So, some discussion. I'm trying to see. Dramatic live stream on Alaboom last night. I'm not sure what that was. So a Great A says that they thought Kabuki Kid was hanging out, I think, on the Dice Tower Top 10 2021 today. So, I don't know. I have no idea. Are they, was it, I would assume it's a video of their top 10 anticipated games of 2021. I don't know, a little early, I think, for that. Zorak Zoran 1, Double Z1 is in the house joining us in chat. Good to see you, Double Z1. Thanks for hanging out on a Thursday night. All right, moving right along, let's jump on into our next news piece, because now available from my friends over at Tiny Battle Publishing is D-Day and Beyond. Here's the dope. D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in history, opened the final chapter of the war in Europe with the landings on 4 Normandy beaches. For almost a year, General Eisenhower balanced Allied resources and clashing subordinates as he slowly drove back Field Marshal Karl von Rundstedt's forces, who struggled with Hitler to command his theater forces. In late January 1945, the Rhine was breached and the end of the Third Reich drew nearer. D-Day and Beyond is a tense two-player operational board game covering the European theater from the French Atlantic and Mediterranean coasts to the dense German forests, the Siegfried Line, and the Rhine River. The Allied player faces the tough decision about where and when to land troops, what scarce air and naval resources to employ on offense or defense, and struggles to keep a coherent supply line to his forward troops. The German player has to throw the landings off the beaches, if able, and failing that, fight a retrograde war that requires balancing holding key terrain, slowing the Allied advance, and preserving units. Additional rules showcase the resistance, rail movement, airborne operations, carpet bombing, the release of German reserves, and the infamous Walk am Rhein offensive known as Autumn Mist. D-Day and Beyond is for 2 players. I'm guessing ages 14 and up. It can be ordered from Tiny Battle Publishing right now for $49. It's going to carry a normal MSRP of $55. This is the largest game ever released by Tiny Battle Publishing. It is replacing my good friend Herman Luttman's release from last year as the largest game from Tiny Battle. So, something to look forward to. As I mentioned, this is available right now. I gotta be honest, I don't know if we'll see a review copy of this or not, because I very rarely hear from Mark and the rest of the team over at Flying Pig Games or Tiny Battle Publishing, which, they're both Mark's companies. I don't know. I have no idea. But I will mention we've got some wargaming materials heading my way from a new company. I'll talk about that after the news as well. All right, it is Thursday, and that means we've got a free PC game to score. I actually have 2 this week. The Epic Games Store actually pulled a fast one. They did not give any advance notice that there was another free game that was going to be included, but the main freebie this week is For the King from IronOak Games and Curve Digital. You can score a copy for free. Here's the details. The king is dead, murdered by an unknown assailant. Now the once peaceful kingdom of Farul is in chaos. With nowhere left to turn and stretched beyond her means, the queen has put out a desperate plea to the citizens of the land to rise up and help stem the tide of impending doom. Doom, yes, scary. Set off with your makeshift party, either single player, local, or online co-op. Choose to split your party up and cover more ground. Oh, never do that. Never do that. Or stick together for protection. A sound strategy can mean the difference between life and death. For the King is a challenging blend of strategy, Japanese role-playing game combat, and roguelike elements. Each playthrough is made unique with procedural maps, quests, and events. Brave the relentless elements, fight the wicked creatures, sail the seas, and delve into the dark underworld. None before you have returned from their journey. Will you be the one to put an end to the chaos? Yeah, probably not. Fight and die as a party in fast-paced and brutal turn-based combat using a unique slot system for attacks and special abilities. Find and gather herbs for your trusty pipe. Yeah, herbs, all right. To heal your wounds and cure your maladies. Set up safe camps or brave the horrors that nightfall brings. Just remember, adventurer, you do this not for the riches or fame, but for your village, for your realm, for the king. Let's take a look at the original launch video. It's only a little more than a minute, so we'll take a quick peek. You can score for the king absolutely free through 10 a.m. Central Time next Thursday, which is February 11th. So it is mentioned. Oh, I should point out that I believe, there we go, Clint Gibson is in chat with us. Howdy, howdy, Clint. So once again, we got a really nice chat cooking this evening. Anyway, so Grade A is also talking about For the King. Yes, they did have this for free before because I already had this in my Epic Games account. So this also includes all the previous DLC, and I think I know why it's free this week, because I want to say, I think it's either next week or the week after that, there is a new batch, well, I shouldn't say batch, a new single DLC that's coming out, and it's I believe it's some sort of like an adventure pack. So kind of cool. This is kind of a fun game. It's not easy, I'll tell you that. And as Grady mentioned, and I said as I was going through the Excel sheet information, never break your group up. Oh no, don't do that. So anyway, so yeah, so it's actually a pretty cool roguelike. If you like games like The Curious Expedition, Renowned Explorers, I would think you would like this. Actually, I mean, graphically, it's got a lot more going for it. But yeah, it's a fun game. And it's free. It's absolutely free. The other game that's absolutely free, which I did not put together a video and stuff like that for, is Metro Last Light Redux, which, strangely enough, I thought Epic had given away for free before as well, but they hadn't, or at least I missed it because I did not have that in my Epic account. So you got two freebies this week. We've got For the King as well as Metro Last Light Redux, or Redux, however you want to actually pronounce that. Pretty nice, everybody. So, a Great A says, when I played through it, it wasn't very forgiving tactics-wise. No, none of these are. Only thing that sometimes kind of bugs me about the roguelike, and it's weird because there's two terms. There's roguelite and roguelike. And they're basically talking about the same sort of games. But I find that, like, oh gosh, now I'm trying to remember the oddball undersea game. Ah, jeez. Can't even think about it. I can't even think of the name now. It's like super weird, kind of Lovecraftian, and you're the captain of essentially what's a submarine, and the world is actually like submerged. It's like, gosh, it's like Hidden London or something like that. Or, I mean, that's the main city. It's not the name of the game. The thing that always kind of drives me nuts with the roguelike games is you get to a certain point and you know you're not going to be able to defeat whatever you're up against. And of course you get killed. Your sub gets sunk, or your group gets killed. Then you got to start over from scratch. It's like, but that's how roguelikes are designed, that you need to go through. So Flaming Heron says roguelite is a watered down version of a roguelike. Madman says, I may pick up For the King. Looks like I would enjoy it, but finding time is his issue. Well, at least you don't have to worry about having other people to play. You can play that solitaire, that's for sure. All right, moving right along. There is an interesting looking role-playing game that has relaunched on Kickstarter. I talked about this originally when it was on Kickstarter. And like I said, this looks pretty cool. So here's the skinny on the Gaia Complex. The Gaia Complex is a cyberpunk role-playing game set on Earth in 2119. Toward the end of the 21st century, the Third World War, which became known as the Resource War, pushed mankind to the brink of destruction and brought ruin to the Earth's atmosphere. Small pockets of humanity survived this horrific conflict, eventually forming the 11 metropolises. Initially, these incredible urban constructs were able to grow and prosper through advancements in atmospheric processing and technological innovation. But now, cut off from each other, the 11 metropolises must each face their own difficulties and hardships. The Gaia Complex focuses on the largest of these locations, New Europe, a single sprawling city that covers much of what we currently know as mainland Europe. New Europe is a world full of street violence, corporate espionage, vampiric uprisings. Yes, you heard that correctly. Vampiric uprisings. And an overzealous AI known as Gaia, which functions as the city's governor and the protector of its citizens. This is a game of conspiracy and brutality where players take on the roles of mercs, former police officers, hackers, and street-savvy dealers who are hired to fight back against the system and ultimately unravel the secrets of the Gaia Complex. Interestingly enough, I'll just throw this in here. The vampires that have arisen are actually allied with humanity. So I know it's not in this news piece, but I'm just pointing that out. Of course, we'd love you to back this campaign and be a part of making the Gaia Complex a reality. But before you do, maybe you want to give it a whirl for yourself. Good news, you can do that right now. While this campaign and the updates throughout, we'll talk about the game setting and rules, are free, well, pay what you want, but please enter nothing and just grab a copy. 48-page quick start for the Gaia Complex is out right now and will allow you to read and play for yourselves. For yourselves, not with yourselves, people, for yourselves. This PDF contains a huge amount of lore surrounding the game, offering an in-depth insight to the world of the Gaia Complex and what it means to be a merc in 2119. In addition, the booklet is jammed full of gorgeous artwork and gives you a good idea of what to expect from the full core book. There is a Kickstarter video. It's a little less than 2 minutes long. It's got some kind of cool music to it. So let's kick back, give it a peek. You can reserve a copy of the Gaia Complex in PDF for a $26 pledge or score the hardcover and PDF for a $48 pledge through March 2nd with an expected delivery of this September. I do believe that the game book is going to clock in, I believe they've already said, a minimum 256 pages. I'm pulling that off the top of my head. I think that's what I ran across because there's way more information on the Kickstarter page than what I shared. It's just, I wasn't going to sit there, going on for 10 minutes about this and then play a video. You'd be like all tuning out. Though I have to say, it's kind of funnily enough, People are distracted tonight during the show. I would think you'd be distracted just watching in the first place to be like, oh, something else. Take my mind away from this, please. It happens. It happens. Hey, you may have noticed stream dropped again. I have got to take a look to see what's going on. I have checked the power settings. Power settings are all top performance. And it's really weird because the Wi-Fi down here in the Duct Tape Studios actually dropped a few minutes before the stream started. So I thought, oh, maybe that's our drop for today. Guess it wasn't. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go and get some new equipment. God knows, yes, gotta love it. Because I make so much money doing this. I have so much money I can just throw into this. Anyway, check out this Kickstarter. It looks pretty cool. The artwork looks really nice. Kind of an unusual kind of vampires, cyberpunk. I know in chat there was some discussion about various different punk. Yeah, there's like steampunk, diesel punk. I think a grade A mentioned Duncan punk. A world taken over by donuts. But I think that's already funded, or it's super close to funding, because I think when I took a peek earlier, it was around, I think like 85% funded, and that was like this morning. And this just relaunched. So definitely give it a peek. Well, speaking of successful Kickstarters, there's a new Sly Flourish 5e D&D supplement. It's available in print and PDF. Here's what I know about fantastic layers. The best 5e fantasy role-playing games are often the most unpredictable. When the plans of the game master meet the actions of the characters, the incredible creative energy that results can spin encounters off in different directions, creating a largely spontaneous campaign story that keeps the GM and the players alike on the edge of their seats. But when it comes to climactic boss battle encounters that cap off single adventures or entire campaigns, it's often much harder for GMs to work things out on the fly. That's where this book comes in. Scott Gray, James Introcaso, and Mike Shea have teamed up to lighten the load of shaping and developing your game's climactic encounters. Fantastic Layers is a book of capstone layer encounters for your 5e fantasy RPG. What would that be? I guess I could say Dungeons and Dragons. I can say that. They can't. I can. Aha! These encounters are designed to inspire and fit into your own campaign. Each fantastic layer includes evocative artwork, a beautiful full-color map, and a well-designed and play-tested boss encounter for characters of various levels. Your purchase includes all of the maps for these layers formatted for your virtual tabletop of choice. Fantastic Layers is the joint brainchild of all three members of the design team, each of whom brings a wealth of creative skill and experience to the project. From over 50 initial concepts, the team narrowed down a selection of 23 ultimate boss layers for development in this book. Thanks to the backers on Kickstarter, that's how this book includes 23 layers, covering levels from 1st to 20th. You can actually go, this is available through DriveThruRPG. There is a listing of each of the layers. So, once again, I didn't want to sit here talking about something for like 10 minutes reading through, but you can get all of that info. The 140-page hardcover and PDF are available together for $44.99 over at DriveThruRPG. You can get the PDF alone for $14.99. Nice. I know a lot of people out there really, really do like the Sly Flourish releases. What is it? The Lazy Dungeon Master, the Return to the Lazy Dungeon Master. Isn't it Fantastic Locations? Oh, I see. Grady says Fantastic Locations. So, and yes, there is a dragon mummy. Mwah. The Madman says that the Gaia Complex is less than $800 from being funded and has 25 days to go. Yes. Very cool. Nice. I got to be honest, some of what they're saying in the sell sheet info, I don't know if I necessarily agree with. You in my opinion, you really can't run like an entire adventure up to the boss encounter, I guess you would say, completely by the seat of your pants. I don't know about that. Anyway, but speaking of availability over at Drive-Thru RPG, which is where you can get fantastic layers as well as the free quick start or pay what you want but pay nothing quick start of the Gaia Complex. Do want to mention the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf site. So if you are going to swing on over to Drive-Thru RPG, by all means, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters do add up and really do help keep the Gaming Gang website around. Really, really do. Because I say it all the time. I don't have like $3 hosting. I can't pull in over 1 million unique visitors a year on GoDaddy hosting. I got to be honest. I don't even know if their cheapo hosting is still $3. I don't. Very, very cool. So, let's jump on in because I'm going to talk about the contest we've got going on. Rob German just threw $5 in a super chat at me. Thank you very much, Rob. Very, very much appreciated. Once again, I don't like insinuate that people need to do that. I honestly think one of these days I might set up like what is it called? PayPal Me. So, because I don't want to do Patreon because Patreon's a ripoff. Although, and everybody's got Patreon. But to me, I think Patreon's a ripoff because, say for an example, now Rob just said, "Hey, here's $5, Jeff. Stop complaining about how little you make." Shit, $5. Just shut up, Jeff. Just stop it. Anyway, but if you were like supporting a creator on Patreon, like $5 a month, that creator is going to actually get about $2. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so the Madman says they just purchased a couple things on Drive-Thru recently, including a second time. Huh, that's kind of wild. Rob says, I think YouTube might take a decent chunk too for Super Chat. Yes, they take 50%. That's why you never hear me talk about Super Chat. I have had a couple of people in the past who've made a donation, and that's very, very cool. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. But because YouTube takes half of it, I don't really promote that either. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. Maybe I'll show you. Maybe on Monday's show, I'll actually show you what I make on YouTube. Yeah. And that's with last year I had over 250,000 views, which I know for most big channels, I mean, that's like nothing. But on average, it's about I think we pull in about 700 views a day, thereabouts. So Rob German says 50%. Wowza. Or as I like to say, yowza. Flaming Heron says, yeah, I've seen people drop big bucks on Super Chat. And I was like, how much does a person actually get? And how legitimate is it too? Because I know, I think on on Twitch, there have been people who've been like, oh yeah, baby. I'm giving you $1,000. And it's like, and the person in the stream is like, oh my God. Going crazy. And then it turns out, it's a scam. They're getting nothing. PewDiePie has 109 million subscribers. I wouldn't give that guy a nickel. I have no time for PewDiePie. And I got to be honest, people like that just show you there's some mongoloids out there. So it's like, what the? If that's your entertainment, I don't know. I come from a completely different time, right? I don't get enjoyment watching other people do things that I should be doing. So I don't watch people streaming games, or the only time I do something is like if I'm stuck on something, like I'm playing a computer role-playing game and I'm stuck on something, I might go look it up, might check out a video that way. And it's funny, my nephew, Cameron, not so much anymore, but not too long ago, he spent a lot of time watching just, like people playing video games. And I was like, Cam, I thought you wanted to get that game. He's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, you've already watched them play through the game. What is the point of picking up the game then? It's like, so Clint says, I hate PewDiePie's channel. I'm always chasing my kids off his videos. Anyway, Kabuki Kid says, yeah, I looked at PewDiePie for like 15 minutes and bailed. Not my thing. Doesn't know what the fuss about him is. Yeah, because he kind of comes across like as a dumbass. He does. I mean, I don't know. All right, so let's talk about the contest, and then I got a couple of things I've got to mention. All right, so first off, let's talk about the super easy contest you can win. So very recently, I reviewed Nidavellir, which is from Gaia Games as well as Hachette Games. It's coming to stores in April. I have an additional copy, and it kind of sounds like Hachette Games made a mistake and sent me two. I thought they were sending it, oh, hey, here, do a giveaway. Because the PR contact for Hachette and I had been talking, and I had mentioned something about doing giveaways or, contests. And so anyway, so that's your gain, everybody. So all you got to do is check out my review of Nidavellir right here on YouTube. Be a subscriber to the Gaming Gang channel and comment on the video before the end of the month. And one of those commenters will be lucky enough to win this brand new copy in shrink of Nidavellir. So we've got that. We also have some Twitter contests. So if I can hit 7,000 followers on Twitter, I don't know, I think I'm like 290 some away. I will give away 3 copies in PDF as well as this physical copy. Once again, I don't believe this is available in stores just yet. I think it's hitting stores now. Here in the U.S., I should say. I believe it's been out in the U.K. But I am going to give away Warhammer 40K Roleplay Wrath and Glory from my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Yes, I like this. This is really good. Very cool. Also, if I can hit 4,500 subscribers here on YouTube, it's a little off. It's like 500 and change. I will be doing a giveaway for Basic Fantasy from basicfantasy.org. And I'm not just giving away a core book. Oh, no. I am giving away the whole shebang. All 13 books that are available for Basic Fantasy. One lucky winner will get their hands on this. So, in order to win this, once again, I have to hit 4,500 subscribers on YouTube, and then you just comment on any video before the end of the month. Any video, and, don't be rude. If it's a rude comment. I'm sorry. I'm not giving stuff away to people who are rude and nasty. So, moving right along. Now is with the Twitter contest, it's essentially I have to hit a number of followers, and I have specific tweets on my, well, it's not channel, it's on my page, on my feed, whatever they consider it, on my Twitter account, that you have to follow the gaming gang, like that tweet, and then you retweet that tweet, and you do the quote tweet, and you tag a friend of yours. I know the Madman did that. I think it was today. So he's in the running. So both of the Twitter contests are based on number of followers. So if I get 7.5K followers on Twitter before the end of the month, I will give away a copy of the standard edition of Dungeons & Dragons Candlekeep Mysteries. And if I can hit 5,000 YouTube subscribers, once again, YouTube contests are basically hit the number of subscribers, you're a subscriber, and you comment on a video. You'll be in the running for the alternate art edition of Dungeons & Dragons Candlekeep Mysteries from Wizards of the Coast. So there you go. Those are our contests that we've got online right now. There are five contests going on at this moment. So, and not getting much traction on any of them, which is not unusual. Not unusual. So Flaming Heron says, are you giving away a picture of all the books? No, I'm giving away all of the books. So a couple of things. First off, and this will be relatively quick. I've been seeing more and more people on, well, basically on Twitter, carrying on about rejecting modernity in especially Dungeons and Dragons and embracing, you know, the legacy, embracing the old way of things, right? So it's basically these people are trying to tell you, you know, it's this. This is what you should be playing, not this. And I've been seeing more and more of this. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. I have been running role-playing games for more than 40 years. And there is something I am certain about. I know this for certain. And that is, don't let anyone else tell you how you and your friends should enjoy your Dungeons and Dragons or any tabletop role-playing game at all. All that matters is the people around the table are all having a lot of fun. Everybody feels comfortable. Nobody's like freaking out going, where's that X card? Can I point to the X card someplace? As long as everyone's having a good time, that's all that matters. That's it. There is no right or wrong way to enjoy a role-playing game. There just simply is not. And I mean, there are some people out there who play some really wacky sorts of games. Once again, if that's how you guys and gals enjoy yourselves at the gaming table, by all means, enjoy yourselves. I'm not here to go, oh yeah, that's the wrong fun. So, all right. Flaming Heron's actually mentioning what the second thing is. So, I ran across a tweet. It's from somebody who's with the Dice Tower. Once again, I don't know who she is. I don't follow these people. I don't have, and the thing is, it's not that I've got anything against anybody else who's covering the hobby, unless they're, I mean, we talk about it all the time, the obvious shills out there, and I've talked about these people, you can tell when they're doing a 3-minute review or 1-minute review, there's no way they played that game. That I got a problem with. other people. I don't follow other people's channels. I don't follow other outlets because honestly, I don't have time to. But I see this tweet come up, and once again, I have no idea who this woman is. She's a young woman. Looks like she's probably in her 20s. And she must be one of the correspondents for the Dice Tower because that's what it says in her bio, that she's with the Dice Tower. So her tweet was that, now I'm going to paraphrase it. She was insinuating, and I almost responded to her tweet, but I'm like, you know what? I don't need, the every ass clown coming out of the woodwork. I don't need the numbnuts. But she insinuated that in the tabletop gaming hobby, that it's mainly people who are newer to the hobby, who are kind, welcoming, and in favor of inclusion and diversity. And I think, if I remember right, it's she finished up the tweet by saying something like, almost like different takes, GTFO, or dark takes, something like, if you were, I got the impression that it was like, if you wanted to disagree with her assessment, you could get the F out. So I tweeted, you know what? You got to be pretty new to this hobby to sit there and claim that it's only people who are newer to this hobby who are kind and welcoming and believe in diversity and inclusion. And if you, there's no way. You can't sit there and tell me, oh, well, people have been involved in this hobby for, a long period of time. They're not kind. They're not inclusive. They're not welcoming to this hobby. They don't care about diversity. You know what? Get the F out on that. I get so tired of these people coming along who have, like, they've been in the hobby 5 minutes and they're like, oh yes, this is how everything is. And it's like, you don't know jack about this hobby. I sat there and I thought to myself, the people I have known over the years involved in this hobby, and I'm not talking just covering the hobby, because the funny thing is, Tom Vassal's been involved with this hobby for a long time. He's been involved with it longer than I have. So is she insinuating that Tom is not welcoming? It's like, and kind, and doesn't believe in diversity and inclusion? It's like, get out of here. It's like, don't knock yourself out trying to pat yourself on the back for something you haven't done. Because I hate to break it to people, but if it weren't for people who have been in this hobby a long time, being kind and welcoming and believe strongly in diversity and inclusion, these new people wouldn't be here. It's like you'd have been gate kept out. It's like, give me a break. I was like, geez. Anyway, I was like, oh my gosh, can't believe this. And it'd be one thing, and I get where it's coming from. I get the whole, yeah, pat on the back, yes. Oh, look at me, I'm so woke. Go do something. Go do something that actually really does bring people into the hobby, and then you can crow about it's all the newbies coming to the hobby who are they're all kind and welcoming, and as if people who have been involved in the hobby for a long time aren't kind and welcoming. And what are we, bigoted? I don't know. That's just ZZ1 goes, people. I know. And the funny thing is, I understand on Twitter, a lot of people tweet stuff just because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know this person. She could be just wonderful. I don't know. I'm just telling you, I ran across this tweet and I was kind of like, wow, you got a lot of effing nerve. And it's like, for one, you're not old enough to have been around this hobby long enough to. It's the same way where you got people who sit there and want to tell you about, well, back in the old days of Dungeons and Dragons, before I was born, this is how things were. It's like, how the hell would you know that? You weren't even born. It's like, Clint Gibson says, hipsters, get off my lawn. So let's go back through chat real quick. So okay, so he saw the tweet recently where I said the assumption that only new people to the hobby are kind. Yeah, I figure everyone is inclusive, that we all have a love of the game. Well, there are gatekeepers out there. Like, for an example, this whole nonsense with, get rid of the modernity, embrace the legacy is kind of gatekeeping a little bit. Because what they're trying to say with that is that you're not a real, and I believe it's more aimed towards Dungeons and Dragons, that you're not a real Dungeons and Dragons player, dungeon master if you're running 5e. Get out of here. It's like, anyway, so somebody's asking, who is it? I got to be honest, I don't remember her name. And it showed up in my feed or whatever because someone that I follow had retweeted it. So that's the only reason why I actually ran across it. And I read it. I stopped and I read it again, and I was like, "Who is this?" Then I hovered on the bio. I was like, "Really? They do reviews for the Dice Tower, and they're saying this?" Okay. Madman says that they saw somebody on Twitter does 3-minute reviews and they muted them because they're not interested in empty reviews. Kabuki Kid says, I assume they had some bad interactions or something, which we all have. We've all had that. Elliot Miller, my best friend, and I were just recently talking about somebody that we gamed with when we were in high school, who the reality is they were somebody older. You figure we were in our teens. They were probably in their 30s. And they were a gamer. And we actually, with some of our friends, part of the Gamers Guild, I think one of them knew him. And we actually went to his house and we played some stuff because his basement was basically set up for gaming. And he was not somebody that I don't think outside of that realm of gaming I would have hung out with, even if I were an adult. So yeah, so we've all run across bad eggs, and there's many more of them in the hobby than we care to admit. I'll be the first to say that. There are some real pieces of work involved in this hobby, and there are some people who get way too much of a free pass in this hobby as well. Now, I'm not, cancel culture being what it is, buy their stuff, don't buy their stuff. It's completely up to you, right? But there's some folks who've said some pretty crazy things or done some pretty despicable things who I'm glad that they really aren't involved so much in the hobby anymore. Or if they are, they're way, way on the peripherals of it. But that said, you can't make an overarching statement like that. Like it's like saying, well, everybody over the age of 60 is this. Well, yeah, the only thing you can say everybody over the age of 60 is over the age of 60. Jeez. Generalization usually doesn't go well. Yes, that is correct. Thank you, a grade A, for pointing that out. Call people out. Don't generalize or provide context for your view. Flaming Heron says, saw the stupidest blog from George R.R. Martin about his latest book, calling everyone who was looking forward to it an asshole because they were constantly on him about delaying it. I have to be honest, though. George has spent way too much time doing other stuff and writing the coattails of a Song of Ice and Fire as opposed to writing the book. So I can see why people are upset. Me personally, I'm like, whatever. I could have bothered. Because the thing is, A Game of Ice and Fire was supposed to be a trilogy. I don't know if everybody out there knows that, but that is what George R.R. Martin had planned, was a trilogy. And then he saw all the money that Robert Jordan was making from The Wheel of Time, and he decided, okay, well, I'm going to just stretch this on out to multiple books. Many more than 3. Anyway, so the Madman says that his Savage Worlds group, oh, the Madman, and always talking about Savage Worlds, is made up of people aged 21 to 56. If someone's considerate, take attending seriously, they're more than welcome. That's how I always have been. Everybody's welcome at my table as long as you are not a jerk. Everybody's welcome. I don't know. I'm not kind. I'm not welcoming. I guess I can. And if I disagree, I can get the F out. Clint Gibson says, wouldn't that be age discrimination? So much for being inclusive. I had actually kind of thought that. Like I said, I almost responded. And I thought, you know what? Because I don't need every social justice warrior. And I am a liberal, right? I am a liberal. But I also know that some of these people are just way, way, way out there. I don't need those people bothering me on Twitter. All right. So Flaming Heron says, no doubt he saw the money from HBO. Yeah, but what was he already? Wasn't he already on like the 4th book when he signed the deal? It was so funny because Elliot and I were just talking about this the other day. And I said to him, you know what? I could have sworn when I first read A Game of Thrones, because I read it first and I recommended it to Elliot, he picked it up. I was in my 20s. It's like, geez, just like, I have not read, what is it? The King Killer Chronicles? Patrick Rothfuss or something like that. But I guess that's also a trilogy, and he's got the first 2 books out, and it's been like 10 years, and he has not released the 3rd one yet. All righty. Flaming Heron says he's one of the older members of his gaming group. I'm one of them. Elliot's a little older than me, so he's like 6 months older, so he gets to be the oldest at the table, usually. All right. Anyway. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I was kind of like, what is going on in our hobby? There are just some real oddballs in our hobby here. So Grady says, yeah, most writers don't make money, so he probably surprised himself, decided he didn't need to write anymore. Yeah, he seems to be more intent on like having a cat on his lap and his Greek fisherman's cap on. And it's like, it wasn't that long ago he interviewed Stephen King. And it was sort of like, dude, maybe you should ask Stephen King for some tips on how to write a little faster. It's just, he's all right. Hey, it's, it's his decision. Do what he wants to do. All right. That is it for this time out. Once again, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch airs live Monday through Thursdays right here on YouTube, as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news and rambling, incoherent rambling. If you do ring that bell, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming video review for Crystal Palace from Capstone Games, as well as my first video in a new series. It'll be a new series if you like the video, called So You Want to Be a Game Master. My first video, I talk about how to choose the right role-playing game for you and your group. Of course, no show tomorrow. It is a Friday. I only stream Monday through Thursdays. So those of you out there, thank you very much for watching live. We had a good chat going. We had quite a few people hanging out. Much appreciated. Always like having folks hanging out, keeping me company, so I don't feel like a complete doofus just talking into a camera, into the ether, into the interwebs. But I also know there are quite a few people out there who watch the stream who don't have an opportunity to watch live. Maybe you're even watching on Memorex. Doesn't matter. I really, really appreciate any of you out there who take a few minutes out of their busy day to kick back with me for a little bit. Of course, I will be back on Monday. And everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, Friday morning, whatever day it happens to be when you're watching this video. And of course, as I wrap up all my videos during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, by all means, click right here. And if you'd like to check out one of our recent live streams, click right up top. And if you want to roll the dice and see what the algorithm for YouTube recommends, click right here. And of course, thank you once again for watching. And gang, please stay safe and wear a mask.